So the question was, it was about when I said that when you're speaking your plan out loud, that instead you can visualize your plan. And I said you can take it one step further by also visualizing it as if you're in your horse's head, looking through his eyes as he does it, and feeling the shapes you need. I don't know about you guys, but when I used to watch jumping shows on TV, even before I ever owned a horse, I kind of like jump with them. Even if nobody in the room saw it, you felt it inside. And that's kind of what I'm referring to. Or when I'm sometimes on the master classes, I end up giving you guys an exercise where I'm saying, it's just if you were bending to the right, and most people will end up shifting their ribs over to the left and bending to the right as I'm saying it. And so it's a little bit of that when I'm saying feeling the shapes that you need. It's kind of like you're the horse. Okay, I'm going. So instead of standing there, and this goes for memorizing courses as well, instead of standing there and going, okay, I'm going to go into the pen, go around to the right and come out, and then I'm going to change direction. If you bring other senses into it, like, okay, I'm going to go into the pen I need the right bend before I go in, which means I need to come from over there. Otherwise, I'm not going to get in. And just kind of feeling the same when it comes into a stop. There's no stop in the pen, but just letting your body feel those sensations. But you can also feel them from your horse's perspective, where that bend, obviously you're not going to drop a shoulder to turn right, which you might have done right now, but feeling that bend in the horse. So that was part of it. The other part, I said I have a story related to that, and some of you have heard it. And this refers to the seeing through their eyes. Because Boomer was herd sire, and it was his job to be stoic, protect everybody, he was concerned when I would take him away from the herd to go trail riding. And so I'd load him in the truck. He loaded really well. The whole time we were being, hauling, he'd be hollering, "Where are you? Everybody okay? Where are you?" Which I believe was not about him being alone as much as the herd being alone. I also bought and sold a lot of horses, so horses came and went. But anyway, I climbed in the truck this one day, and it was a stock truck, and it had like little 6-inch windows all the way along the side, open windows. And I pictured myself in his head looking out his windows at what he was seeing at that moment. And then I pictured driving down the road to the trailhead. It wasn't actually far. I didn't have to obviously picture every bit of it, but just, we're going down the road to the trail, looking through his eyes. We get there, unloading him down the ramp. I used to haul him tacked up, so I didn't have to do that. The important part was going on a trail ride with a friend with a Canadian horse, coming back, getting back in the truck, driving back to the same place and unloading at home with his family. He never said a word, and he never hollered again after that. So although I'm a very analytical person, and if you'd asked me a few years ago if I believe in woo type stuff, I'd have said no. I also would have told you that my ex and I shared a lot of past lives together. Did I believe in reincarnation? No, but we did. So so there's the little woo part of it for you. So anybody got any comments or questions or stories that they'd like to share related to that?
Oh, Trish, I just wanted to clarify. So you're envisioning the route through his eyes, kind of just went back into his psyche, and it made it okay for him? Is
Yeah.
that what it was?
Yeah, I just pictured myself being in his brain, looking through his eyes instead of my eyes, and showing him what he was seeing as we went, did what we're going to do, and that we did actually come back again, and he didn't need to worry about that. That's what would be happening.
Okay.
Yeah.
And just clarify as well, that vision that you had from his eyes, you went from while you're in the truck and you're envisioning the whole kind of process of going on the trail ride and coming home before you actually did that.
Yeah, it was an abbreviated version because obviously,
Okay.
it's like a 10 or 15-minute drive to the trailhead and then an hour's ride and then back. So I didn't spend that long. But yes, I had already loaded him in the truck. He's hollering. I got in the truck. I sat down and I went, I'm just going to take a couple of minutes and show him what we're doing. And I mean, obviously we were going somewhere, so I didn't have to spend much time on that part, but that we were going to drive, we were going to ride, and we were going to come home were the key aspects of what I showed him in just a couple of minutes.
Okay.
And then I
So
drove.
now,
Yeah, go ahead.
sorry, next time I go out and practice our pen, I'm just going to stop for a minute and just picture in my head going through, going around, coming out, nice change of direction, going back in, coming out, and trotting off to go eat some hay.
Yeah.
Okay. Couldn't hurt.
Yeah. Now you may find, if he really wants to go and trot off and eat some hay, that he then rushes the pen a little bit. So it depends. If I had a horse that didn't want to cross the bridge, then the aspect of the hay as a reward on the end would be good incentive for him to do it. So how much of the story you share with him depends on what motivation you want for him. It sounds really dumb. It's not. It just sounds funny coming out of my mouth. So you'll have to decide that whether, go ahead and try it exactly like you just pictured, but notice what happens as you do the pen, what kind of a response that you get.
Okay, well, actually, that brings me to another thought I had about when we practice the pen in an actual working equitation environment. You'd be then either trotting or cantering or whatever gait you're going to the next obstacle. And I was thinking, gee, I shouldn't just stop after that because I want to get in their heads. We're going to be doing something else. So I might just picture like, oh, I don't know, going over a bridge or something else then, rather than to the hay pile.
Yeah, it could be. So one of the things that I teach when you're working obstacles is to put in hundreds of stops. In a show, you won't. But if you've conditioned your horse that every time they make a step, you breathe out and stop and they wait, it does two things. Probably does way more than two things. The two that come to mind are it stops them from rushing through the obstacle. So if we were side passing instead of the pen, if as soon as we finish the side pass, we're going to hay or his friend or the gate or dismount or anything that he really likes, then he's likely to rush the side pass. So you definitely want to practice your up transition, but you don't want to consistently practice your up transition so that you can make the up transition. And if he's a little hesitant to make an up transition, then I might practice it the next 10 times that I come out of the pen to say, hey, this is the pattern. When we come out of the pen, we canter. But then as soon as he's kind of got that figured out, then I'm going to go back to, but sometimes we come out of the pen and we just chill and talk to somebody beside the fence, an imaginary person. Or when I used to smoke, I'd be like, okay, smoke break. And so that it doesn't, so you don't pattern him to what it is. We can use patterning to our advantage to help them understand the concept. And as soon as they do, then we want to break the pattern so that they're always waiting for us to say, okay, this is the next step. So I don't know if that made it more or less confusing.
I just wanted to say that's super cool. I do a lot of visualizing in my own mind about sort of what I'm doing, but I've never tried through their eyes. So I think that's kind of a cool thing to try.
Yeah, I have noticed over the years that when trying to get a horse to understand them, at least seeing the picture in your mind of what it is you want, clarifies it for you. And it
Yes.
seems to help them see it as well.
Yeah.
But we know with humans that that adding more senses into that visualization makes it more powerful. So that's where
Yeah.
that thought comes from.
Mhm.
So let us know how it goes. And yeah, with the pan or any of the obstacles, you certainly can visualize the whole pattern and show them what to do and ride the whole pattern, including the up transition. Just keeping in mind that sometimes you'll just visualize the part where they're having difficulty, the fact that they are completing that part and then they get their break. So yeah, there's no wrong way to do it. It's all an experiment. Try it and see what happens.